Those little square things that held a whopping 1.44 megabytes. That's like one photo from your phone today. Maybe, if you're lucky and the photo isn't very good. Even older 5-inch floppy disk, those were actually floppy. My first PC had both. I digress. But here's the thing. Back then, we knew exactly where our stuff was. It was right there, in our hand on a physical disk we could touch. Now, everyone keeps saying, save it to the cloud. And when I try to explain what that means to people, their eyes glaze over like I'm speaking ancient Sumerian. Exactly, buddy. That's the face people make when someone starts tech talking at them. So today, we're breaking down what the cloud actually is, where your stuff really goes when you save it there, and why you absolutely, positively need to start using it if you haven't already. And I promise, no tech speak that makes your brain hurt. Just straight talk about where your photos of your grandkids, your important documents, and your recipes that you printed from the internet and then scanned back in, where all that stuff actually lives these days. Okay, let's start with the basics. You've got a computer, maybe a phone, maybe a tablet. You take photos of your cat. You write letters to your family. You save recipes from Pinterest. You scan in important documents like your birth certificate or your insurance papers. Maybe you've got some old family photos you scanned in. And someone tells you you should back that up to the cloud or just save it to Google Drive. And you're sitting there thinking, what cloud? Google who? There's no cloud in my house. Is my stuff floating around up in the actual sky somewhere? Are my vacation photos just drifting around up there with the seagulls? And here's what makes it even more confusing. There's Google Drive, OneDrive, iCloud, Dropbox, Amazon Photos, Shutterfly. And nobody ever really explains what any of this means, why you should care, or which one you should even use. So let's fix that right now. First thing you need to know, and this is the most important part, the cloud isn't a cloud. There's no magic vapor holding your photos of Buddy. It's just someone else's computer. Well, more accurately, it's a huge building full of someone else's computers. But that's really all it is. When you save something to the cloud, you're really just copying it over the internet to a computer that belongs to Google or Microsoft or Apple or Amazon. Back in the day with floppy disks or CDs or even USB thumb drives, your stuff lived on a physical thing you could hold in your hand. And that was great in some ways. You knew exactly where it was. But it was also terrible. Because if that disk broke or that CD got scratched or you lost that USB drive in your couch cushions, your stuff was gone forever. So, someone had a brilliant idea. What if instead of saving things only on your computer or only on a disk, you save them on a computer somewhere else? A computer that's always on, always backed up, always being watched by IT people, and that you could access from anywhere. That's the cloud. It's really just storage space on someone else's computer that you rent, sometimes for free, sometimes for a couple bucks a month, and you can get to it through the internet from any device. Now, you might be thinking, that's nice and all, but my stuff is working fine on my computer. Why do I need this cloud thing? And I get it, but let me paint a picture for you, and I really hope none of these ever happen to you. Picture this. You're working at your desk. You've got your coffee right there next to your laptop, like we all do, even though we know we shouldn't. And then it happens. The cat jumps, your hand slips, and that coffee goes right into the keyboard. If your files are only on that laptop, you just lost everything. The grandkids' photos, the taxes, the memories, gone. But if they're in the cloud, you just dry off, grab a different device, sign in, and keep moving. Your stuff is safe because it wasn't actually in the laptop. It's the ultimate save game for your real life. Think of it like a bank. Back in the day, people kept their life savings in a shoebox under the bed. If the house burned down or someone broke in, that money was gone. Now, we put our money in a bank vault. We don't see the physical bills every day, but we know they're safe. And the best part? You can go to any ATM in the world, put in your card, and get to your money. The cloud is exactly like that bank vault, but for your photos and documents. Instead of your files living only on your laptop or your phone, they live on that secure computer out there. That means if your laptop takes a tumble or your phone disappears, your memories and your work are still safe and sound. Here's another reason the cloud is a game changer. It connects your gadgets. Have you ever taken a photo on your phone and then wished it was on your computer so you could print it or see it better? If you're using the cloud, that photo floats over to your computer automatically. You don't have to plug in any wires or email it to yourself. It makes all your tech talk to each other. You start a grocery list on your tablet, and when you get to the store, it's right there on your phone. That's not magic. That's the cloud working for you. If you're finding these tips helpful, do us a favor. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It really helps a small, independent channel like ours. While you're at it, don't forget to sign up for our Friday newsletter and check out the home site at lifelevel.com. We've got new merchandise and the digital reference guides I mentioned in the links below. Now, back to the tech. All right, so now that I've thoroughly terrified you about everything that could go wrong, let's talk about the actual services you've probably heard about. Google Drive. This is Google's cloud storage. If you have a Gmail account, and let's be honest, most people do these days, you already have Google Drive. You get 15 gigabytes free, which is enough for thousands of documents or a couple of thousand photos. You can access it from any computer or phone by going to drive.google.com or by using the Google Drive app. OneDrive, this is Microsoft's version. Same idea, different company. If you have a Microsoft account, like if you use Outlook for email, or if you have Microsoft 365, you've got OneDrive. And if you have a newer Windows computer, OneDrive is probably already built right in. You'll see it in your File Explorer on the left side with a little blue cloud icon. iCloud. If you're an Apple person with an iPhone or a Mac, you've definitely heard Apple nagging you about iCloud. It's their cloud storage service, which works the same way. Dropbox. This one's been around forever. Really popular, works great, you get a little bit of free storage to start and can pay for more if you need it. Amazon Photos. Here's an interesting one. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you get unlimited photo storage through Amazon Photos. And those photos, they're being stored on Amazon's cloud service called AWS, Amazon Web Services. Now, AWS is huge. Like, it's not just for regular people storing photos. Netflix runs on AWS. A huge chunk of the internet runs on AWS. But for you as a regular person, you'd interact with it through Amazon Photos. And speaking of photos, if you use Shutterfly to make photo books or prints, Shutterfly uses Amazon systems too. So those photos you uploaded to make a photo book for your mom's birthday, also living on Amazon's computers somewhere. But here's the thing, and we're going to talk about this more next week. These companies don't just have one building with computers. They have multiple massive data centers all over the world. And I mean massive. We're talking about buildings the size of several football fields, filled wall to wall with computers, with security that would make you think they're guarding nuclear secrets. Because in a way, they kind of are. Your secrets, my secrets, everybody's secrets, photos, documents, and cat pictures. Next week, we're going to dive into where these data centers actually are, like physically, where your files go when you hit save, and why these companies take the security around them so seriously. But for now, let's focus on getting your stuff backed up. Okay, practical time. How do you actually save something to the cloud? I'm going to walk you through Google Drive because it's probably the most common and most people already have a Google account. But OneDrive works almost exactly the same way. Step 1, make sure you have a Google account. If you have Gmail, you have a Google account. If you don't have Gmail, go to gmail.com and create a free account. It takes about 2 minutes. Step 2, on your computer, go to drive.google.com. You'll see your Google Drive. On the left side, there's a big button that says New. Click it. Step 3, you'll see options, New Folder, File Upload, and some other stuff. Let's say you want to back up some photos. Click File Upload. A window will pop up showing all the folders on your computer. Find your photos and select them. You can select multiple photos at once by holding down the Control key while you click them, or Command on a Mac. Step 4. Click Open, and Google Drive will start uploading them. This might take a minute if you have a lot of photos or if they're really high quality, but you'll see a little progress indicator in the bottom right. And that's it. Once they're done uploading, those photos are now in the cloud. They're on Google's computers in a data center somewhere. You can access them from anywhere: your phone, your tablet, your friend's computer if you need to. If your computer crashes tomorrow, those photos are still safe in your Google Drive. Same thing works with Word documents, PDFs, spreadsheets, scans of important papers, anything. Just click File Upload and select what you want to save. For OneDrive users, if you have Windows 10 or 11, this is even easier. OneDrive is built right into File Explorer. You'll see it on the left side with a cloud icon. You can just drag files into that OneDrive folder, and they'll automatically upload to the cloud. On your phone, download the Google Drive app or the OneDrive app from your App Store. Most phones, especially Android phones, have an option in your photo gallery settings to back up to Google Photos or back up to OneDrive. Turn that on, and every photo you take automatically gets saved to the cloud. You don't have to do anything. It just happens in the background. Your phone breaks, you drop it in the toilet, you get a new one. Log into your Google account, and all your photos are right there waiting for you. Now, is there a catch? Well, sort of. Nothing in life is truly free, right? Most of these services give you a certain amount of storage for free. Google gives you 15 gigabytes, Microsoft gives you 5 gigabytes with OneDrive, Apple gives you 5 gigabytes with iCloud. And honestly, that's usually plenty for documents and important stuff. But if you're backing up thousands of photos or videos, especially videos because those are huge files, you might run out of space. And then they'll ask you to pay for more. But it's pretty cheap. Google charges $1.99 a month for 100 gigabytes. That's less than a fancy coffee. For peace of mind that your digital life is backed up, that's a bargain. The other thing to keep in mind, your stuff is on someone else's computer, right? Which means you need to trust that company. Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, these are big companies with good security, but you need to do your part too. Use a strong password, not password 123, not your birthday, not your dog's name. A real strong password with letters, numbers, maybe a symbol or two. And don't share your password with anyone. If someone gets into your Google account, they can see everything in your drive. Most of these services also offer something called two-factor authentication. It means even if someone knows your password, they can't get in without also having your phone. Turn that on if they offer it. But honestly, your stuff is probably safer on Google's computers in a data center with armed guards and backup power and fire suppression systems than it is on your laptop sitting on your kitchen table. Right, buddy? Tough crowd. You don't have to move your whole life up there tonight. That's how people get frustrated and quit. I want you to realize you're probably already a cloud power user and didn't even realize it. First, if you haven't already, create a Google Drive or OneDrive account. It's free, it takes 2 minutes, just do it. Second, pick 5 important things. Could be photos, could be documents, could be scans of important papers, could be those recipes you love. Pick 5 things you would be devastated to lose. Third, upload them to the cloud. Follow the steps I showed you. It's not hard, I promise. Fourth, try accessing them from a different device. Pull out your phone, open the Google Drive app, make sure you can see those files. Get comfortable with the idea that your stuff doesn't have to live only on your computer anymore. And look, I know change is scary. I know it feels weird to trust your important files to some company you've never met. But I'm telling you, as someone who's been doing this for years, as someone whose hobby is photography and has thousands of irreplaceable photos, this is important. This matters. Back up your stuff, please. So we've covered what the cloud actually is. Spoiler alert, it's just someone else's computer. We've talked about the big services, Google Drive, OneDrive, iCloud, Dropbox, Amazon Photos, and how to use them. We've talked about why this is so critical because computers fail, accidents happen, and losing your digital memories is heartbreaking. But there's one big question we haven't answered yet. Where are these computers? Where are these buildings? When you save a photo to Google Drive, is it going to California, Ireland, Japan, all of the above? And why do these companies build these enormous data centers in places like Iowa and North Carolina and the middle of the Oregon desert? Next week, we're taking a trip, virtually anyway, to where the cloud actually lives. The physical buildings, the security around them, why they're located where they are, and what happens when one of these massive data centers goes down. Spoiler alert, it has happened, and it caused some pretty interesting chaos. So that's next week. Where does the cloud actually live? And here's a challenge. In the comments below, tell me, what's the first thing you're going to back up to the cloud after watching this video? Photos? Documents? What's that one thing you'd be devastated to lose? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And Buddy says goodbye too, in his own way. This channel is just us. One person, one cat. Same questions you're asking. Same goal. Make technology feel human again. No pressure. No hype. No talking down and sometimes cats. We'll see you next time here on Life Leveled Up.